Man, we are here with Coach Jason Madonna. Coach Madonna, life is good after a 60-point victory.
Always feel better after a win. Wins are hard to come by, and so when you get them, the weekend's just a little easier.
Well, the East Central game, it was one of those games that I'm interested to know what you as head coach take from a game like we just performed at East Central.
Well, you take a lot of things from it. The biggest thing I talk to the kids about is just the way they handle themselves. In a game like that, when you find out pretty quickly that you're a little bit better football team and things start going your way, there's a certain way to handle it. And I was really proud of our young men. We accomplished some of the things we set out to accomplish. We cut down on some of our penalties. We were a little bit more efficient. We finished plays. Defensively, we kind of analyzed things and thought we needed a little bit of a spark. So you saw a little bit faster defense out there. We kind of rotated out some of our bigger guys and played a little bit faster to try to get to the ball. Their quarterback was really dynamic. We were nervous about him getting north and south. So we tried to flush him out east or west where we could kind of use some of that speed to chase him down. I think we did that efficiently. We were able to turn them over at a high rate, including the first kickoff. And which is a huge benefit just to kind of build confidence in those things. And then the third road game in a row, we as much as people want to talk about it, that was our shortest trip at a 95-minute drive. And so sitting on a bus for a couple hours and then trying to get yourself ready for a game is tough. But I like the way that we handled that. I like the way that we started fast. I felt good about our energy pregame, just all those little things that they did that we've kind of been building towards or working towards or asking them to be better at, and they were. And so that makes me proud.
Well, looking forward to next week and watching tape for Durant, who played Booker T and got beat 37-7. You kind of saw the opposite of that, talking about road games. And in East Central, you have to be happy again with just your leadership, Coach. These four guys walk out there quite often. That's Jaquan Evans, Cade McKee, Nolan Ward, and Logan Skelton. Talk a little bit about the leadership of your team, Coach, and how you feel that's progressing now as we go into week 5 and the biggest test of the season.
Well, you look at that picture, and 3 out of those 4 are underclassmen. And so, and those are captains voted upon by the team. And so to see that is a testament to just their work ethic and their consistency. They're here every day. They do the right things. And we have a lot of great kids. We have 80+ kids on our roster, and I would choose them every day over anybody else. And that shows who they chose to be their leaders is a big testament to those young men, and they do it daily. They're high quality young men in the community. They're high quality students. They work out hard. They practice hard, and so when they play well, we play well. And if they have off games, we're going to have off games, and that's just part of it. And it's a lot deeper than just those 4, but those 4 were chosen by their teammates to be the captains. And I really like the way our team is gelling, and I know that's tough to say. You're sitting at 2-2, and that's just a shell of the team, right? Just your record and people that are on the inside. Like, I feel like these young men are really bonding. They're coming together. We have a lot of young guys playing. We have a lot of guys new to Shawnee playing, and it takes a while. It takes a while for them to kind of figure out their role and figure out how they fit and their groups. And I really think we're gelling and coming together, and I'm excited to see how that continues.
Well, you mentioned in your opener just how important it was to get a quick start. And of course, there's 3 phases with offense, defense, and special teams. That big play by Tyner and Estala really set the tone for the night. And then Tate getting 3 immediate runs and punching it in from the 16-yard line. Talk a little bit about your special teams, as I believe this is Max Hilton, just a sophomore. But he plays a vital role, and a lot of times, a lot of these kids go unnoticed.
Yeah, well, that pitcher is actually Grady Smith, but he knows, but he's a huge help for us too. And special teams is a huge part of the game. I mean, it's a third of the game. A lot of times it takes the back seat to the other two because of the percentage of plays. But I think overall we did a really good job. One unit that we wanted to see continue to improve is our kickoff unit. We felt like versus Ardmore and Duncan, we weren't as efficient as we needed to be in those units, and so we spent a lot of time there trying to get them better. And I really liked the way they attacked down the field and came in waves, starting with the opening kickoff. He started to stretch it out back towards the middle of the field, and Kevin was right where he needed to be. And not only did he secure the tackle, but he was able to strip the ball, which is huge. I mean, when you start the game kicking and then you get the ball first, I mean, it happened so fast. A lot of people didn't realize we were probably on offense. And then we go out there and we're ready to roll. And so now technically you're starting with the ball both halves, which is a huge benefit. And so not only that, but our field goal extra point protection was good. We did miss a couple, but it wasn't because of the protection. And also our punt team, we only punted minimal times, but we practice every week. We practice punting back up. We practice punting from the middle of the field. And then we also practice what's called coffin corner punting, where you're trying to pin them deep. And Tal put a really nice punt, and Kevin, again, who was our special teams player of the week and on our max preps, was right there to down it, which I believe eventually led to a safety. So that punt led to 2 more points. Mm-hmm. And so it's just they did a really good job.
Is that the one that Jaden recovered the fumble for the touchdown? Did it?
Right. It might actually led to 7 points. Yeah, you're right. So Jaden Smith coming in clutch, recovering that fumble. So we got a safety later on down the line. But yeah. So it actually led to a touchdown.
And that was a special team play. The safety was they bobbled the snap, and we were chasing him, and he just smacked it out of bounds.
Yeah, which is a head by that young man. To 2 and not to 6. So, I give a lot of credit to East Central. Like they were, down a few players, and we were able to capitalize on a lot of their mistakes. But they fought hard, and they were classy young men. And their coaching staff is a bunch of veterans, and they do a really good job. And so, the score got a little lopsided, but I don't think that's a testament to their program. I think their program's a lot further along than what the scoreboard showed.
What about Jaden Smith? I spoke with him midweek last week, and he said, I just haven't been playing the way that I feel that I should be playing. And anytime I talk to you guys, it's nothing but positive, and I see only positive out there with Jaden. But, man, he came up strong this week.
He did. He really did. He really played well, and he's a guy kind of like Lance Williams was last year that can play at all 3 levels. And so we really have the versatility to move him around. And he's just an old school football player. He just finds a way to make plays. Starting with week 1, he had an interception versus PC North, and he just finds himself around the football and finds himself with the ability to make plays and be able to process and diagram quickly. And so we were really excited to see him. I believe he was
9 tackles.
9 tackles, and the fumble recovery for a touchdown, which was huge. Mm-hmm. And anytime you can turn the ball over, and especially when the defense can score. Because I ask Coach Blitch every week, I said, if you can get a shutout and a pick 6, we got a really good chance of winning the game. And kind of joke back and forth, but and Jaden helped secure both of those things.
Yes, he did. Two fumble recoveries and a touchdown, 9 tackles. He had a great game. Another kid who is really showing up strong at particular points in the game is Wilson. Mason Wilson. He got to play a little bit on defense as well as offense, but he leads the way in that blocking attack so often for our talented runners. I'm seeing him step up now on defense. Talk a little bit about that senior, Mason Wilson.
Yeah, he's a really smart football player, and he processes and learns really quickly. And so he's a guy that we could plug in just about anywhere on the field, and he would have a solid understanding of what to do. And, he was really disappointed in himself last week. He had a crucial mistake on the penalty that called a touchdown back. And so he really wanted to make up for that and to have a good game. And he did. He blocked his butt off. He played really well defensively. He caught 2 balls for big plays out of the backfield. And so really proud of his effort and the way he bounced back.
Well, I think that you talk about the team gelling. Of course, the team meal this week held by Victory Family Church out from the home of St. Benedict's for a couple of weeks because their carnival is coming up. That carnival, Coach, you guys and your family need to get out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. next Saturday, October 4th, right after the Booker T. Washington game, the St. Benedict Fall Festival. Coach, the meal over at Victory, everything go well? Pastor Corey, Pastor Joey, and all the servers, it looked like a full house.
It was, and they did a fantastic job. It's a super blessing for us to be able to have that on Thursday nights, and so we got to go over there, got to eat. And the good thing about it is, you know, like I stress every week, the kids just get to sit down and just relax and just hang out. And that's always a blessing. It's always a huge benefit. And that's part of, you know, the process of them gelling and growing together and starting to form a true team. And a big part of that is those night meals where they just kind of get to relax. They get to talk about the game plan. They get to talk about life and goofy stuff and college football and NFL football and all those other things. And so, and it's good. It's good for us to have time as coaches just to sit down and interact and talk with them and enjoy a meal together, because normally you're always in a rush trying to get them out to practice and you're trying to get them ready for a game and doing all those things. So it's good just to have time, just kind of sit down and relax.
Well, next week, of course, before the big game, it'll be at Temple Baptist Church. Shout out to them. And, you know, so when we come home, one of the big things is just the atmosphere around the stadium is just so wonderful at Jim Thorpe Stadium. And the support over the last 3 weeks, Coach, on the road. I mean, it's a tough 3 weeks in a row that you've been on the road, but you've had support out there by all of the different support teams and clubs and parents. Talk a little bit about how appreciative you are of the support that you've had these last few weeks and coming home to Jim Thorpe Stadium.
Well, one, the support on the road, you know, our new band director, Joseph Craven, he does a really good job. I hear him every morning out there practicing, and they load up 3 buses, and they drove to East Central this week, and it's a huge benefit. I mean, it seems like a small thing to have the band there, but just to have band and cheer and palm, and just knowing that there's a group of people there to support you. And not only does that bring extra students, but that also brings their parents, which just makes the crowd even bigger and just makes it better because they're rooting for you too. But we have a really good support system here, and that's one benefit about being in a town like Shawnee. You know, Shawnee's strong is the community really supports our team, and they really care for our kids, and we make sure to let our kids know that, and they're very, very grateful for that. I mean, not just the travel on the road, but just all the things that get taken care of for us. And so it's a real benefit. Very, very grateful for the community and the way they step up for us and the way they travel for us. And, you know, it's pretty cool when the game gets over, win or loss. We see a lot of supportive, smiling faces standing over there waiting for us. And so that's part of being in a cool community like this.
Well, and those band kids, you know, we watch them going back to the bus, and they're having the times of their life as well. You know, it's like another performance time for them to be able to come together. I just love the feeling and the frequency of goodness. It's really going through those kids and the leadership. It's just a lot of fun. And as we come back to Jim Thorpe Stadium, it's probably going to be as loud as ever as we welcome last year's undefeated district champs, Booker T. Washington. Always a tough play, but you guys feel confident this year that you can go up with just about anybody with talent on all cylinders. So let's start a little bit with Booker T, if you don't mind. They're big up front and they have a big quarterback, and we faced that the last couple of weeks. How do we manage and win the line of scrimmage this week versus Booker T. Washington, Coach?
Well, I think we're going to have to use our speed. We're going to have to use our speed up front. They have a dynamic running back. They have a really good quarterback, and they have some really good receivers. this is probably going to be the best passing quarterback that we'll see all season. We've seen him 7-on-7. We've seen him last year. Right out the gate, he hit us with 2 long touchdown passes. Boom, boom. And he does a really good job of being patient in the pocket, finding the open receiver, and delivering a good ball. And they've got some guys that can absolutely go get it. Keenan Farley is one of the best receivers in the state, number 1. He looks like Megatron out there. He's just super well-built young man. And so it's going to be a difficult challenge. It really is. And we're in here right now trying to figure it out about what we can do to slow their pace down and to control them. And they've been doing a really good job all season. The only game that they really struggled was versus Dale City, and they got behind a little quickly on that one because of some special teams blunders. But their offense is going to be a unique challenge for us. They do a really good job of their ratio, run the pass, and when they take their shots. And so it's going to be Coach Blitch and our staff and our young men are going to have a challenge in front of them, but that's why you do it, right? These are the type of games that you want to be in. These are the type of atmospheres that you want to be in, and you want to be tested like this, and you want to see where you're at. And we'll find out Friday night exactly where we're at. Last year Booker T started 1-2, and then they were able to win the district. And so we're kind of hoping we copy some of that juice that they had from last year, where we started 1-2, and we're hoping to make a district run, but. We want to continue to improve, and this is a great opportunity to do that.
Well, and to have them at home is a big deal. Their 3 victories have been at home. They had to travel to play Dell City, now one of the best teams in 5A in the state, regardless. But I want to touch on something you touched on. They do have a good running back. They call him, I heard through the loudspeaker, Sweet Pea Washington. And he reminded me a lot about Dietrich Beavers, where he, stature-wise, you look like you just hit him and he'd go down, but he was bouncing off really big guys and really tearing them up for deep yardage. How do we contain Washington, and how do we stop their running attack, Coach?
Well, it's going to be difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. He's really talented, similar to what Dietrich was last year. He kind of hides behind that offensive line, and then he's really explosive. So when he sticks his foot and gets north and south, he's eating up yards at a really rapid pace. He likes to get on the edge, and so we're going to have to do a good job of containing him. We're going to have to do a good job of group tackling, and we're going to have to do a good job with our pursuit. And we can't just assume that one person is going to be able to bring him down one-on-one. We need to get him in a phone booth, and we need to tackle him. And that's not going to be an easy task. And he's going to get loose. We know that. But just containing the big play and not letting him make those game-changing plays is going to be the key. And to really funnel him and rally and gang tackle is going to be important.
Well, 2 of the top 3 tacklers on the team you have on the edge with Travion Barber and Jaden Smith. And those are 2 guys that are going to have heavy responsibility. Usually, if they hit somebody, they're going to go down. I noticed last week you were really rallying to the ball, gang tackling very nicely. Is that an emphasis this week?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We do pursuit drill every week, and it's an emphasis for all football teams across the country every week. But for us to have an opportunity for success this week, it's going to have to be vital, and we're going to have to execute it at a high level, and we're going to have to execute it consistently. And I believe our guys will. They understand it. They understand the challenge coming up, and so we're going to put in the best game plan we can, and we're going to have the best week of practice we can. And Friday night, we're going to go to execute it at the highest level we can and see where we end up. But this is going to be a tall task. I believe they're probably the best team in our district until somebody knocks them off. And we went back and looked at some record books, and I don't know that Shawnee's ever beat them in the regular season, but that's the rearview mirror, and we're looking out the windshield, and it's time for that to change. And so we're going to give it our best effort to be able to do that.
Yeah, they don't come very often to Jim Thorpe Stadium. In my remembrance, I remember a great victory against them years ago at our stadium. Love it. But it's going to be, there's big plays. You mentioned early on in the game last year, a couple of big plays really set us back with their quarterback. We've had KD with big plays. He's probably right now our big play threat if we're throwing it. How do we get KD more involved offensively? And do you think us averaging around 300 yards a game the last couple of games we played, will that be enough against Booker T. Washington?
A lot of it's going to depend on field position, because stats can be deceiving. You look at the game versus East Central. We didn't have very many drives that started in our own territory, and that's a testament to how well our special teams and our defense played. So when you score a touchdown drive of 40 yards, if you'd have started at the 1 yard line, it might have been 99 yards. So we just you can analyze that stuff all day long, and you can say we need 349 yards to be able to win. We just want to win. Whether we gain 1 yard, we shut them out and get a pick six, or we gain 6,000 yards and we win 50-49. Ardmore beat us. It doesn't matter. We'll take it any way we can get it, and you never know how the game's going to flow, and that's okay. That's the beauty of high school football. That's why people pay to come watch 15 to 18-year-olds compete, is because you just never know what's going to happen. And so we'll take it any way we can get it. If we get 150 yards and win, I'll take that over 500 yards and a loss any day of the week, I promise you. So I really like kind of the way this team is headed. We're gelling. As far as KD's concerned, he's a really explosive player. And we just have to get him the ball in different ways and utilize his unique talent. Hand the ball off to him, get him in the screen game, let him push it down vertically. And you've seen that throughout the course of the year, just all the different ways that he can have a huge impact offensively. And so, he had the big touchdown catch versus East Central. We just missed him. Just threw it a little bit wide, and he wasn't able to corral it. And we just said, you know what, just go back to him and just give him another opportunity. And I believe it was Tal just put a nice ball up there and just let him go get it. And so, and what makes him so dangerous is the other guys around him. Tate is a load to tackle, and he's really explosive, and he's just getting better and better. And then you saw a little bit on display, Romel's the last couple of weeks, Romel's explosive ability out on the edge. And then Jaden Hunt is always a threat down the field. And then you see we get a couple little plays to Mason Wilson, sneaking him out of the backfield on the screen in the arrow. And then, we got guys in Dylan Simmons and Drake Estala that can make solid catches and be where they need to be. And so everybody else is continuing to play well will allow those explosive guys to continue to get explosive plays.
I totally agree with that. On the Booker T defense, it seems like they've got a pretty solid, big, athletic front six, and their back five are just ball hawking. Do you think the way you've been utilizing Tal, and then last game, how you brought Laster in and you used both of them kind of as a mix in quarterback, do you think that's something you can use to your advantage this week?
I do. I do. And they're both playing pretty well. And hopefully what it does is it makes the defense have to work a little harder. If we can just have them spend a little bit more time on that, and then maybe they miss something else, or maybe they do that. But Booker T's defense is not accustomed to giving up big plays. I think they've only given up 9 plays over 10 yards in the run game, and it's probably even less than that in the pass game. The only 2 passing touchdowns they've given up were botched plays. Last week versus Durant, they get a tip interception that they missed, and the receiver catches behind them and scores. And then you got to go all the way back to week 0 versus Muskogee, where it's a bad snap and the Muskogee quarterback picks it up and nobody stayed on coverage and he's able to throw it behind the defense. Those are the only 2 passing touchdowns they've given up all season in 4 games. And so they got a big man, number 13 up front, that's got every Division I offer under the sun, and he's super talented. He's really fast, great with his hands. He's a load, and so it's going to be a huge task for us to be able to consistently block him all night. And we really like our offensive line. We think they're talented and they're tough. And so this is going to be a great opportunity for them to showcase their ability. 21, their defensive end, super fast, very difficult player to handle. Their linebacker, 22, is if you were to build a linebacker in a video game, that's the young man you would build, and he's super physical downhill. And so we're gonna search all night to try to find their weaknesses and how to exploit them. And but their defense is tough, and it's going to take a collective effort by our entire offense to be able to move the ball consistently and score.
definitely what I noticed about them on film. I mean, it's going to take consistency, because it seems like for every big play they give up and give that first down, they're going to get you at the chains for 2 plays after that. And you might be able to keep going, but it's going to take consistency, which is discipline. I also noticed while that game through the first quarter with Durant was so close, they turned it into a really sloppy game. Booker T did, in the sense of there were a lot of penalties going both ways. You can see it was a little bit chippy. A lot of mistakes going both ways. It wasn't until they caught a couple of those breaks that they were able to actually pull away. In fact, for a long time, it was a 7-7 ball game with both teams scoring, just on weird plays. I think Booker T's first one was a blocked punt for a touchdown, and the play you referred to, Durant caught the tip and was behind everybody and ran it for a touchdown. How do we stay out of that chippiness, Coach? And do you feel like the most disciplined team on Friday night is going to be the winner of the game on Friday night?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that's something we've struggled with in the past, and we're open and honest about that, and we've tried to make corrections on that. And so it's going to be an intense atmosphere. Everybody knows what's on the line. This is anytime you have a district game, it's a big game. But anytime you're playing somebody that won the district last year, it just makes it just the energy that much more exciting. And so handling that pressure, handling that atmosphere. It's our Jim Thorpe cultural night. So we're going to be in the all gray uniforms. And it's going to be a great atmosphere, man. I'm telling you right now, if you live in this area, that's where you're going to want to be Friday night. I'm just telling you. And it's going to be a beautiful night. Win, lose, or draw. Win, lose, or draw, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely amazing. And so we got to do our part to make sure that it's continued to be amazing when the game's over. And so this game will definitely be earned, not given. And we have to make sure that we're doing our part there. And discipline is going to be a huge part of that. Not getting yourself caught into the bad stuff. You're going to have a pass interference, which you got a great shot on the pass interference on Jaden when he got a little tug on the jersey. Unfortunately, the ref was in a good spot to see it. You kind of hope he was distracted in that moment. But I felt like we did a really good job progressing and staying away from the bonehead penalties. We did have an offsides when they got us with a hard count. We got a little aggressive. But other than that, we played fairly clean, and that was a big goal for us. And we want to continue to progress on that. And it's discipline, but it's also handling the moment. Handling the moment, because we always talk about you shouldn't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. Well, if I'm not going to ask the guy across from me on Friday night how to run my route, then I shouldn't care what he says to me. And that's easier said than done. We're adults, and they're kids. But if we can stay away from the silliness, and we can stay away from the goofiness, and we can be disciplined, we're going to give ourselves a better opportunity to win. That's going to be a huge message for us this week.
And it'll be a lot of fun out at Jim Thorpe Stadium. That is for sure. The pictures that we're able to show you all on our website, you can get those pictures for free. We want the community and the families and the friends to be able to share pictures of the great atmosphere that Shawnee football and all Shawnee fall sports right now, all are uploaded up there. Thousands of pictures, literally, that you can peruse and have a good time with, downloading for free. Just go to ShawneeCTV.com and you can sign up and get those pictures all throughout the year. The archives being made as well from years past, so everybody get out there. But talking about atmosphere, we want to echo what Coach just said. It's going to be a lot of fun on Friday night, and we need everybody out at Jim Thorpe Stadium. Friday night, October 3rd, Booker T. Washington comes to town, and the Shawnee Wolves are ready for them. For Coach Madonna, Coach, man, thank you very much again for your time and being with us.
Problem. Thank you for allowing us an opportunity to talk about our kids. We've got a lot of great kids, and they love the opportunity to showcase their ability in front of their fans. So make sure you come out. Go Wolves.
Remember, Shawnee, all of us together, we build community one season at a time. Good night, everybody.